Yo guys, what is going on? It's Luki here and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking through the top 5 Warzone classes you can be using right now. I really recommend you guys giving all of these a go. And also, before I do get into it, if you guys could subscribe, that would be amazing. I will be posting one of these videos every single week, and I will be uploading Warzone content every single day. So you guys do not want to miss out on it. But first up, we have the M4A1. Now, you guys know the M4A1 is probably one of the most overpowered weapons in multiplayer and in Warzone. Everyone uses it, so I had to include it in today's video. But the first attachment is going to be the monolithic suppressor. I just want to say quickly that I do have the monolithic suppressor on every single weapon you use. It's a must-have attachment. The monolithic suppressor will take you off the minimap whenever you do shoot, which is going to really help you to basically be more stealthy and not give away your position as much. Because if you're just shooting with your weapon normally, obviously people are going to see you on the minimap and they're going to come straight to you and you're going to die instantly. So I really recommend you guys sticking a monolithic suppressor on every single weapon. Next up, we got the stock M16 Grenadier barrel. This increases the damage range, bullet velocity, recoil control, and these three stats that it increases are basically the most important ones in Warzone. It increases the accuracy, the range, and the control, and these three stats are probably some of the most important stats in Warzone. Anyway, next up we got the sight. Now this sight, in my opinion, is my favourite sight to use, but obviously every single person has their personal preference. There are so many different ones. For example, you can use the Core Combat Holo sight if you guys want to. You can use the Scout Combat Optic, that's a good one. The AP5X holographic sight. You can use the Integral Hybrid, the 3x scope, the Cronin, this is one I use. The Canted Hybrid sight's good, or even if you guys want to, you can go ahead and use a thermal sight as well. Any of them are pretty good options, but my personal preference is going to be the Cronin sight. We've got extended mags on, and then a range of foregrip as well. Range of foregrip increases the accuracy and all that kind of stuff. And then we've got the 60 round mags, because having extended mags on is going to be one of the most important things you can have on in Warzone. You don't want to have to be reloading, especially when you're in a gunfight with more than one person, because you will be vulnerable and you will end up dying. I'm going to quickly talk about my secondary I use and my perks, etc. So for me personally, I use the RPG. Now the RPG is actually really powerful. If you're playing solos, I recommend you guys using a sniper, but if you are playing on trios or squads, a RPG is really helpful, because it's going to help you clear out those campers. If there's people camping in a building, you can fire a few RPGs in there and kill them really easily. The perks I use are Cold-Blooded, Ghost, and Amped. I really don't recommend you guys using Overkill. Overkill is one of the biggest mistakes you can use. What I recommend you guys using is sticking on Ghost, and if you do want an RPG, you guys can just go ahead and pick one off someone's dead body. Lethal and Tactical is C4 and Heartbeat Sensor. Anyway, the next one is going to be the M13. As per usual, we got the monolithic suppressor. Next up, we got the Tempest Marksman barrel. We got the Cronin C480 Pro Optic sight once again, extended mags once again, and once again we have the range of foregrip. So you're going to notice a little bit of a pattern with these classes, to be fair, because in Warzone you basically just have to use the same kind of attachments on most of your weapons, because all these attachments just make for some of the most helpful attachments you can use. So for example, monolithic suppressor, I use that on every single weapon because it is the most important one to use. I use the same sight, I always use extended mags, and I always stick on some kind of barrel and some kind of underbarrel that increase the accuracy, range, etc. Because they are some of the most important attachments you can use. Now in the other classes, I do have weapons like the Growny MP7. On those weapons I don't use a sight, but I'll talk about those later on in the video. So as you can see, once again, secondary perks and lethal, etc. are exactly the same. So like I was saying, the Growl 5.56 does not need a sight. So on this one, you can use something different, such as a grip or a stock, etc. So as you can see, once again, we have the monolithic suppressor. We have the Tempest 26-inch Archangel barrel, and as you can see, this increases the damage, bullet velocity, and also the recoil control, therefore increasing the range, accuracy, and control, which are some of the most important stats in Warzone. Now this class here is actually from Swag XPL. This is the class setup he used to win the $20,000 Warzone Wednesday. So obviously this class setup is really good. We've got the Commando foregrip on, extended mags, and then we've got the X Arcade Void 2. So for example, with this weapon, the iron sights are really nice, so you don't have to use a sight. So instead of using a sight, you can stick on something like a rear grip, or maybe you want to stick on a laser sight to have faster mobility. Maybe you want to put a stock on, maybe a perk. but you can stick a sight on if you want to. So for me personally, I think the sights on this weapon are really nice, so I personally don't use a sight just because I think the iron sights are really clean, really nice and easy to use. So if you guys want to, you can stick a sight on, but if not, I recommend you guys sticking on a stock, maybe a rear foregrip, or maybe a perk. It's completely up to you. Now the secondary weapon Swag XBL uses is going to be the .357 pistol. This pistol is insane, so you're going to want the .357 long barrel. This isn't going to increase the range, etc. The laser, lightweight trigger, snake shot, and akimbo. These attachments on this weapon are absolutely deadly. Now the two attachments that make this weapon truly deadly are going to be the snake shot and the akimbo. These two things combined literally make this weapon so overpowered, so I really recommend you guys giving it a go. Now Swag XBL actually uses a stun grenade on his tactical, so if you guys want to try a stun grenade out, you can. Next up though, we got the MP7 class. This is the only SMG class on this list because SMGs on Warzone aren't exactly the best, but the MP7 SMG is definitely going to be one of the best SMGs you can use. So we've got the monolithic suppressor, the FSS Recon barrel, we got the no stock attachment for faster mobility. This weapon is pretty good, so you're going to need a bit more mobility on it in my opinion, just because it is an SMG. We've got the 60 round mags and we've got the commando foregrip. Once again, this weapon does not need a sight on it. For me personally, the iron sights on this weapon are really nice, so instead of using a sight, I use something like no stock instead, which is going to increase the mobility back up to its usual like statistics. The last class I want to talk about is going to be one of the most underrated class ups you can be using, which is the FR 5.56 class. This is a burst weapon and oh my god, it is really underrated. I really recommend you guys giving it a go. So once again, as you can see, we have the monolithic suppressor on, we've got the same sight that I like to use, we got extended mags, we got a ranger foregrip on, and then we got a barrel on. All these stats together, all these attachments together, sorry, basically make the accuracy on this weapon incredibly high. It makes the range stupidly high, and it makes the control really high. So you guys are going to be able to kill people at those long ranges extremely easy. This is where this weapon comes in handy the most, at those long range kills. Now at the close range kills, this weapon is probably going to be a little bit of a disadvantage, so I do recommend you guys maybe sticking on a secondary like an MP7 or finding an SMG off the ground and using that as a secondary just for those close combat kills, because it is a burst weapon, and if you do run into someone with a fully automatic weapon and you have a semi-automatic weapon, obviously you're going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage. But anyway, that's been it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe if you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.